I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo.
Hey, it's Nate with another piano tutorial. Today we're doing the song that launched the career of one of my favorite bands. It's Creep by Radiohead. It's obviously a guitar-driven song, but I've got a great sounding piano arrangement if you want to accompany yourself while you sing it. Let's jump in. Okay, so we're going to start out by learning the chord progression, and it's the same chords throughout the entire song. Speaking of chords, I recommend you download the chords and lyrics chart. I put a link down in the description. That'll help you follow along and see where the chords line up with the lyrics. And speaking of lyrics, I'm going to be doing the clean radio version, singing very instead of the F word, but you can adjust however you desire. So here's the chord progression. We're in 4/4 time, so each one of these measures gets 4 counts. And we're going to start with this G major chord. It's an inversion on a G major chord. We've got a D, a G, and a B here. In the left hand, I'm just going to be doing single bass notes on the note that the chord is named after. So I'm going to do a G, and I'm going to do it with my 4th finger. That's going to flow the best with where we're going. So after 2 measures of that, G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move up to this B. So our 2nd finger's already on that B bass note. So I'm going to put that down. And here's the voicing for the right hand. We've got an F sharp, a B, and a D sharp or a E flat, as it says there. Next, after 2 measures of that, we're going to move up to a C. That's going to be our thumb in the left hand on C. Then we've got G, C, and E. So all of these are inversions of the root position chord. And then finally, we've got 2 measures of C minor at the end. So same bass note, and all we got to do is take that E and flat it down to an E flat. In a minute, I'm going to show you how to do the arpeggio, but for right now, let's just do a version where we just kind of block out the chords. And if that's easier for you, that is totally a good way to cover this song. But the one thing I'm going to add here is quarter note chords in the right hand. So just hitting on each count. So it's going to sound like, when you were here before, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Couldn't look you in the eye, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You're just like an angel, 4, 1, 2. Your skin makes me cry, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You float like a feather, and then it just goes around with different words. Now, one little detail, you'll notice that most of the C minors on the chord chart have a little asterisk on that. And I put that in there to be kind of a reminder to do this little bass line that goes, you float like a feather. It's just this little climb up from C up to F in kind of the scale we're using. So C, D, E flat, F. Now notice I'm using my 4th finger here. So I showed you the fingering going up to the thumb for the C, but when we're doing the step up, if you're doing the step up, for that, when you go to the C minor, I'm just gonna move my hand up and put the 4th finger there to get it ready for the step up. And it happens in the 2nd measure. So there's 2 measures of C minor. 2nd measure it happens, and it's just on each chord note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me play it from kind of where we left off in the middle of that verse. You float like a feather, 4, 1. In a beautiful world, 2, 3, 4. I wish I was special. So I'm gonna get ready to hop to my 4th finger. You're so very special, 3, 4, 1, 2, but I'm a creep. And then we would be in the chorus. Okay, so that sounds really good. But you'll notice that on the recording, there's this guitar arpeggio in eighth notes just picking the whole time. It's sort of a signature part of the song. So I'm going to show you how to approximate that on piano. To do this, we're going to need to be thinking in eighth notes. So instead of just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we're thinking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dividing the beats in half. And we're going to put these arpeggio notes on every single count. And here's the pattern we're going to use. It's going to start on the left, and then for the right hand notes, let's say bottom, middle, top, just to kind of keep things simple. So you're going to do left, bottom, top, and as soon as you've done that, then all you're going to do is over and over again, bottom, middle, top, just going around like that. And with the counting, it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then into the second measure, you don't start it over, you just keep that pattern going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you're doing that right, the last note you hit is going to be the bottom before you move chords. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You don't necessarily have to count it all out as long as you kind of get the overall rhythm and just follow that cyclical pattern. And then, of course, the chord changes. And then again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then I'm going to move to my fourth finger here. 1, bottom, top, dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I want to mention that it gets a little tricky, especially when you're also singing it, to do the walk up while you're doing the pattern. So you could totally do, and then just kind of do the very end with the walk up in quarter notes if it makes it a bit easier for you. When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eyes. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather. And by the way, to smooth out all this arpeggio stuff, I'm just holding the sustain pedal. Makes it sound a lot nicer. You just have to do a little lift right whenever the chord changes so that you don't get too many notes bleeding together. I made a video all about sustain pedal lift timing. Check that out if it's helpful. Cool, and I should mention there is a lot of variation from chord to chord, section to section in the exact pattern that the guitar arpeggio plays on the Radiohead recording. But if we were to map that out exactly, I think it would just be way too long a video and it's not important. I think that this pattern feels really good. It sounds a lot like what they do most of the time, and then you can get the muscle memory that just makes it easy to play on autopilot. But there is a little bit of variation in the intro. We kind of skipped over talking about the intro, where we add these little suspended notes. Sounds like this. So basically on the first count of the second measure, each time you're on a chord, instead of doing the regular top note, it just steps up a half step to the sus4. So on the G, it's going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then it just steps down. Same thing on the B. Same thing on the C. It's just a half step up to F. And then no suspended thing on the C minor. When you were here before. So if you're doing just the quarter note chord version without the arpeggio, you could do that intro like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. You could still get those suspended chords in there. All right, so let's do the chorus. It is the exact same chord progression, but no matter what version you're doing, we're not doing the arpeggio in the chorus. This is where the distorted electric guitars slam in, and we're just gonna be doing hard-hitting quarter note chords, and I'm gonna switch to octaves in the left hand for the bass notes to give it more power. If that's too big of a stretch, you can do it the way we've been doing, but I would suggest going down an octave to get that low power. But here's how it's gonna sound. But I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo, I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. So back to a verse after that. So a couple of things there. I added some of those suspended chords like we talked about for the intro. The rhythm was a little different though. I'm basing it on the guitar line that Johnny Greenwood does there, where it's like 1, 2, 3, and he kind of slams in da 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 da. Now that's hard to do while you're also trying to hold down the chords, but going off of that, the timing of where you kind of hit the suspended chord is different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm going to hit those on the fourth count of the first measure of each. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that there is no asterisk on the C minor in the chorus, so we don't do the walk up, and in fact, we're just gonna hold it for the second measure. So I don't belong here, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I don't care if it hurts. And also you might notice I was just doing a little extra rhythm in my left hand. This is optional, but thinking about those eighth notes, just adding some offbeats in between chords like 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and just gives it a little bit more energy and kind of groove to it. But yeah, that's really all there is to that chorus. Then we're in the second verse. It's just like the first verse, just different words. And one thing I want to mention that is totally optional, but one kind of thing that happens in the second half of each of the verses with the arpeggio, he starts hitting a high octave note here. 4 and 1 and 2. So on the first beat of the second measure of each chord, you could hop up an octave. If you do that, do it in the second half of the verses. As I said, totally optional. It's a little tricky. I might throw it into my version. It's kind of fun. Okay, so cruising right along, we've got another chorus. It is almost just like the first chorus. The only difference is there is an asterisk on the C minor. We are going to do the climb up, and because we're doing octaves in this section, this climb up is going to be with the octaves. The hell am I doing here? 2, 3, 4. I don't belong here. 3, 4. Oh, oh. So that's still on 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the only difference there, though. And then we're into the bridge. That's the she's running out the door. This whole section, same chord progression, same kind of energy as the chorus, if not more energetic. So I'm going to be playing it my loudest here, and I'll probably do even more of those offbeat left-hand hits, like 1 and 2 and 3 at times, just to really drive home that energy. But in the middle of the bridge, the C minor does have the walk-up for she run, 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 run. And then at the very end, it does not run. And for both measures of C minor there at the end, it just holds out. And you can hold it out a little bit longer than just the measures would dictate. The song kind of just holds out in the air here before getting into that last verse. Whatever makes you happy. So just a little bit more to talk about as we wrap up the song. This last verse is just one time through the chord progression. I'm going to play it just like I've been doing, but a lot quieter and kind of more timid. You can even like leave certain notes out of the arpeggio if you want. Just really gentle. You're so very special. And on that C minor, I wish I was special. There is no walk up here. But I'm a creep. And now we're in the last chorus. Now, you could base the last chorus just off the choruses we've been doing, just be more gentle. This is actually the place on the recording where real piano actually comes in. So we have something to base a piano part off of, and it's a little bit different than how we've been doing it. And I think it sounds really cool. Here's what it sounds like. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. So, you'll notice I put some asterisks on these chords, like on the G and the B and the C, because there's these little variations that we do on them, and they're in a different inversion, or some of them are, than how we have been doing them all along. Let's start out with the G. So we're actually going to hit like a G add 2 sound here. So instead of just the regular G we've been doing, we're just going to put our pinky down on that A. Again, all this is optional. And we're going to think about a new rhythm here. Here's the rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So thinking about the eighth notes. And you can just hit the A on the first one. 1, 2, and 3. And just let it kind of ring out with the sustain pedal. The next couple chords, you can just do the regular G. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then on the first beat of the next measure, we're going to bring our pinky up to the C to do that suspended note. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then back down for the 1, 2, and 3, 4. Then a very similar thing happens on the B, but this B is different. Instead of here, we're inverting it down 1, taking this E flat down to there. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then on the first beat of the second measure, the B, we're going to move this pinky up to get this really tense sounding note. I love it. It's kind of ugly, but it's really cool. And then on the beats after that, or at least where we're playing on the offbeat rhythm, we're just going to step that top down note and again to the A. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So the last one hits on beat 4. Then we're going to go up to the C and do something very similar. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Actually, on the first measure of the C, we're going to do something on beat 4. Again, we're not changing the rhythm from just that chord 1, 2, and 3, 4. We're still doing that in every measure. I'm just changing up where we do some little alterations to the chords. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And then for the second half of that measure, 1, 2, and 3, 4. So kind of like we did with the B, we do the top note, 1, 2, and then step down, 1, 2, and 3, 4. For the C minor, we're not going to get that fancy. I think we're just going to actually hold it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But for the second measure, we're doing something really cool on those same rhythms. 1, 2, and 3, 4 before landing. And we're basically taking the interval, it's a sixth, it's the outside notes of this inversion. So we were on the E flat and the C, and then we're just going to step it down to, it's like the outsides of an inverted G chord, but it's D and B. Step it down again, C and A, and then just land in that G chord. And I'm going to end with octaves here in the left hand. Going to play that one more time slowly. But I'm a creep. 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? 4, 1, 2, and 3. I belong here. I don't belong here. And the song is over. Okay, thanks for sticking with me. I am going to now do a full cover where I put all these pieces together and you can see how it all flows. If you like this video, please subscribe, ring the bell, and let me know in the comments what other songs you want to hear next. Also give the video a like and definitely have a look around the channel. I've done at least one other Radiohead song. You'll probably find some other songs you like on here. Anyway, here is my version of Creep. When you were here before,
couldn't look you in the eyes. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so very special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, oh, she's running out the door. She's running out. She run, 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 run. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't believe